So let's look at the customer's data. And you have to begin to have conversations when we talk about value and the cost of value and the cost of data. You got to have some really basic conversations about this. And it's a data conversation. I'll share some numbers that are kind of scary. If you look at block applications, that's things like SAP, CRM, Exchange. They all run on a database, block applications. About 10% of block application data is actually being used. That means 90% isn't. That means 90% is wasted, right? That contributes largely to your cost, right? By the way, that block applications that are used, it's used for about 30 days. And then it's generally not touched ever again. Now, what's scary about block applications also came out of the study. 70% of customers have no data catalog whatsoever. You guys know what a data catalog is, description of your data so you can find your data, right? 70% of customers have no data catalog, which means they're not going to find it ever again, right? It's worse when you look at file. File, only 1% of files are actually used. So do that math. That means 99% is wasted. What percent of file do you think they have data catalogs? Almost 100% have no metadata description of files, which means they're not going to be able to find it. And 89% of customers have no procedure to actually explain that, which means if the person that knows where that file is leaves, you'll never find it again. Now think about that. You guys have cameras, right? You have iPhones and smart devices. You take a picture of your daughter at her 2nd birthday, right? The little yellow cake, and you try and find that 8 years from now. It takes forever. Like you never find it. And customers had this exact problem. So 10% used, 90% wasted, 1% of your files used. And by the way, it's used for a day or two. And by the way, files generally are used by communities of single digits. So very few people use it. And there's absolutely no data catalog, so you're never going to find it again. So you start looking at this, you really got to get a handle on the value of your data and the cost of it, right? Where it should go, where you should place it. Make sense? That brings up a conversation of cost. Now, it's pretty amazing. If you look at, we bought a flash company about a year ago. When we bought the flash technology, it was 16K a usable terabyte. A year later, it's 10K. We announced the V840, the virtualized 840, which virtualizes the flash technology, which allows you to add compression. So technically, flash comes in at around 10K. If you compress the data, now it's down around 5K. That's incredibly inexpensive. And just 4 years ago, Tier 1 storage was anywhere from 10 to 16K. Now you can get flash technology for 10 or 5 if you're compressing it. I mean, Stephen talked about things that spin going away. You're probably looking at maybe 1, maybe 2 depreciation cycles, and it will have gone away, right? Now, you also look at the things that do spin. You know, now you're looking at Tier 1, Tier 2, 3, 4, anywhere from 5K down to like 2K. Tape is about 1/25 the cost. And you got to get smart about it. You got to go, well, if that 10% is making me money, because that's where I really do make the money, I want to put it on the fastest technology I actually can ever put it on, and that's flash technology. That 1% that single-digit communities are actually using, you got to really start thinking about that. Maybe you want to put it on disk, but if you put it on disk, you got to put it on the cheapest thing possible, right? Or maybe, frankly, you should put it out on tape. It's 1/25 the cost. That's why 0K, it's below 1K. Or you're going to put it out on cloud, right? Files should, very little bit of it should be on disk. And if it is on disk, the cheapest thing you can purchase. The rest of it, tape or cloud. That's where it's going. It's why people, you'll hear one of our panelists will talk about it. It's why people are buying cloud technologies. It's to put files and emails, that type of workload, because the value of it is minimal. There's lots of it, and they got to get it at the lowest cost point. So having a discussion with a customer about the value of the data and the cost is a really important discussion. Now, the beauty of it is IBM can do the extreme speed end of it with flash technology or elastic storage, and we can go the other end of it super cheap as well. Good conversation having. We're the only vendor that can actually do this.